What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more punk rock, and we're back with some more Propagandhi, and we're going back to some Propagandhi I still have on vinyl. We're going to listen to a tune from Potemkin City Limits, one of my very favorite albums from them. I mentioned it before, so I'll just briefly touch on it, but this is the last album they did for Fat before they had sort of a falling out with Fat Mike over sort of creative differences, shall we say. But I really do love this album. I think it's fantastic. We're going to listen to a tune called Die Jugend Marschiert. Not only did they play this when I saw them... it couldn't have been the one at the Glass House, because that was on their tour for Today's Empire. So yeah, I guess it had to have been when I saw them in 2017 on their Victory Lap tour, but it was really great. Nevertheless, my understanding is that this song, when I first heard this, I thought it was just in general about the way in which nations, governments of nation states around the modern world sort of inculcate a militarism and not only acceptance of militarism, but a sort of enthusiasm for and maybe even a desire to join that militaristic framework through entertainment, or what is it called, like mili-tainment, which is a concept that's used to describe this, where armed forces in conjunction with governments will create content that is meant to serve as sort of exciting entertainment for younger generations, which can then maybe encourage some to kind of buy into the philosophy and sort of ethos that is considered essential in many of these places to being patriotic and serving your country in that respect. But what I didn't know is that there's sort of a subtitle for this song, which is America's Army. And when I realized this, I just did a little checking online, and I found out that this is apparently a series of shooter games made by the U.S. Army in conjunction with the federal government, that are then in some places provided to schools so they can play these games in schools. In other places they do like exhibitions at events where of course there's recruiting booths right next to the tables where people are playing the games. So it seemed when I first saw the song, or when I first heard the song, that it was just about the way in which militaries and governments desensitize young folk to the sort of military violence and artifacts of war and death that constitute those military engagements, is as a way to just sort of get it into their heads and to get them to normalize it, to get them acclimatized to hey, this is just the way the world works and people shoot each other, and hey, if you wanted to carry a gun and maybe do that, we could use you. And I guess you could take that last line in a couple different ways. But I then realized that it's actually more specific, and this is about a particular game that has been, I think there's still new versions of it coming out, and it's charted well, and video game companies have given it high ratings and so on. So yeah, it's a way in which the United States military, the Army specifically, uses a media format or a medium popular among youth and those who seek out that type of entertainment to sort of inculcate them into the values and perspectives that the military deems essential to patriotism and so on. So yeah, it's actually a song with a more specific meaning than I realized originally. Let me know what you think. I did want to give a shout out to the Potemkin City Limits, just as a concept that's like a very clever, like if you didn't know, Potemkin City is supposedly when the Catherine the Great was being taken around parts of the Russian Empire. They were trying to suggest that it was more developed than it really was, so they kept building these sort of built it up overnight kind of facade cities that they would pass by in the river. Oh look, see, we built another city here. Oh, it's very impressive. I don't know why the Catherine sounds English. But then they would go down the river more, and those same people would move those same materials and build another facade city, and oh, there's another city that we built. So Potemkin City Limits is we're approaching this fake, contrived civilization that doesn't actually have the substance or the quality that we're claiming it does. I really love that. So yes, this is, which side is it on? That's the question. Okay. So I think it's the first on the second side. So if this is B, side one. Okay, yeah. So this is Die Jugend Marschiert, also known as America's Army, which I didn't realize for a long time. but enhanced my understanding significantly when I realized. Oh, yeah, I forgot. To drive the point home with maximum efficiency, they do Propagandhi, Hitler Youth, which of course that was the whole point of those programs, right? To inculcate young German boys and girls with this idea of what this fascist government was doing was normal, necessary, and right. Didn't know if I had it up already. I'm going to say this record is recorded slightly quieter than a lot of other records. Chris doesn't get enough credit for his voice. There's songs like Today's Empire's On, they often have sections that are just sort of like, they emotionally embody the themes that are talked about in other parts. Like this part is just making me think about like, you know, kids playing these games and sort of just like, yeah, like, it's like a video game. You just, you know, you shoot people in a hallway and like, you know, if you're the best then you get the highest ranking and so on. The decay and bilge water that you pump into your homes. Deep down you've always known the candy floss that helps soften the glow. Yeah, it's amazing. I remembered it was sort of a fast, you know, sort of kick-ass song. I didn't remember quite how much. I really do enjoy that one. You know, Speculative Fiction might be my favorite on this one, just because it was such a powerful and like remarkable tune to start an album with. But I really do think this one is pretty much on the same level. It's just fantastic. I mean, I mentioned it before. This is one of my favorite records by Propagandhi. It's sort of kind of weird place in their history of, the labels they've been involved with, notwithstanding. But yeah, I really do enjoy it, and that one is just fantastic. And as I said, for years I just thought of it in a more general sense, because I just wasn't aware there was actually a game called America's Army. And I'd never heard that as like the subtitle. I'd always just heard it as Die Jugend Marschiert. And then I forget where I saw it. It was somewhere online, and it was like Die Jugend Marschiert / America's Army. It's like, America's Army? Like, is that like a phrase? And I typed it up, and sure enough, there it was. It was like, oh shit. It makes a lot more sense now, or at least more specific sense. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if this is one of your favorites from the album too, or conversely, if you're not a huge fan of this album, do let me know. All opinions are welcome here. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if there's another Propaganda you'd like to hear reacted to. Other than that, thank you for listening and watching. I'll see you next time.